It's the greatest country in the world. And I say that without any question saying it. It is. We have our tough times, but, when it comes down for me to have my own podcast and say what I want to say, try to do that in Russia, Not going to happen. Okay, folks, it's Monday at 11. Welcome to the Chazz Palminteri Show. Sometimes we do these shows by the seat of our pants, and we love this one coming up. We're going to do the questions, again, all the questions that people just send me. Anything that's on your mind, you send it to me. But before I do that, don't forget my one-man show, ChazzPalminteri.net, the show that started it all. John, where am I going to be?
September 14th, you're going to be in Munn Hall, Pennsylvania at the Carnegie Homestead Music Hall.
Mm-hmm.
September 25th, you're going to be in Nashville, Tennessee at the Schermerhorn Theater. September 27th, you're going to be in New Buffalo, Michigan at the Silver Creek Four Winds Casino. And September 28th, you're going to be in Detroit, Michigan at the Fisher Theater.
Detroit, Michigan. Hey, go blue. I'm wearing it. And I'm not these fakes. I've been to the big house many times. My daughter just graduated in Michigan. That's right. 2024 graduate of the theater class. Theater, musical theater. Very proud of her, Gabriella Palminteri. And what a great college that is. I mean, my God, what a great college. I think it's the best program in the country. Best theater, musical theater program in the country. Very hard to get into, but if you're talented enough to get in, my God, you'll work the rest of your life, because if you go there, you will get the best teachers, the best advice, just a great, great place. I just love talking about Michigan. Go blue. I love it. I still go there. I still go to the games, even though my daughter graduated. I became a diehard Wolverine fan. So I love talking about my Michigan. But, oh my God, look at this. I can't believe it. My Michigan Cup. I'm a bigger fan than she is. And she was there when they won the championship. That's right. The championship. The title, 2024. Don't forget, if you come to New York, come to my restaurant, Chazz Palminteri, 30 West 46th Street. Or in White Plains, New York, 264 Main Street. Really, two top Italian restaurants. Folks, come on. My name is on it. You think I'm going to serve bad, think it's going to be bad sauce? You really think that it's going to be bad food? My name's on it? Are you kidding me or what? I'm the guy in Bronx Tale who wrote, do you know how to make sauce? Imagine if I had a bad restaurant. Come on. My restaurant's one of the top in New York, both of them. Don't forget my cigars. A Bronx Tale cigars, and we have the Bronx Tale Classic, and we have the Calogero. Two incredible cigars. Go to lcgcigars.com, lacasagrande.com. The great Paul Silvio. He's the man who mixes and matches all these tobaccos and makes these great cigars. God bless Paul. So we got to do the questions and answers today again, right?
Yeah, we got a ton. We put out a question yesterday and everybody answered. So
I know. What's the deal?
So this person, I mean, you've explained this 1,000 times, but I think they don't get sick of it. This person wants to know, was the Bronx your actual childhood, and what inspired a Bronx Tale?
Oh, God. Where you been? You living under a rock or something? I mean, come on. Without boring the people who know the story already, yes, it is my life experiences. Is it an autobiographical thing of my life? No. Is it pretty much semi-autobiographical? Yes. A lot of these events happen. I was a witness to a murder when I was a little boy, 9 years old, sitting on a stoop. That's exactly the way it happened. Just like you saw it in the movies, as you see it in the one-man show and the musical. That's how it happened. That's how I didn't rat on the guy, and I befriended him, and then I would hang out with the wise guys over there in the club, in the bar, and that is my life story. But I made the events happen like faster. So that's why I say it's not an exact autobiographical of my life. As every writer does, you have some leeway and poetic license, but pretty much that is my life story. My name's Calogero. My father was a bus driver. My mother was a seamstress. She worked in making drapes. My mother and father, we grew up on 667 187. My father drove the number 12 bus. Friends of mine got killed in the car bombing. Pretty much. I had a wonderful relationship with a black girl, and I was crazy about her. She was crazy about me. We fell in love I was almost 18. I'd say I was 17. And I learned a lot from that. Yeah, so it's one of those things that I took from my life and I made something special.
I'll be honest, there's a lot of Bronx Tale questions in here, and I think we should still cover them. We don't have to go in depth with them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to bore the people that know the questions.
But they all are very similar to what you're answering, so it's very good. So the next question was, what happened to Jane and C?
Oh my God, I hear that all. Well, C is me. What happened to C is you're looking at him. You know, I went to Hollywood and I went to New York and I wanted to be an actor, and God willing, for the love of God, everything worked out great. And here I am. I'm C. Jane, and I always tell people this, and it's hard for me to say it, but I never saw her again. She never contacted me. Now look, don't forget, I was 17. Okay? I didn't make it till I was 38. That's a long time. You know, she could have just forgot about me, or she has no idea that I'm who I am. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, unfortunately, you know, don't forget, she's the same age as me. We were in school together. So she could have passed away, but either way, that was a wonderful experience in dating her. I never saw color when it came to women. I dated Italian women, I dated black women, I dated Latino women, I dated Asian women. I don't know. And people go, oh, I love when I meet people, John. They go, hey, Chazz, that thing about you dating the black girl, that was bullshit, right? I go, no. What do you mean? Nobody dated a black girl back in 68. I go, yeah, well, I did. I did. So what are you talking about? You know, I hate when they just can't believe an Italian guy in that neighborhood dated a black girl. Now, did we have to hide it? Yes. Did I have to meet her outside the neighborhood and she had to meet me outside of her neighborhood? Yes. It was a very rough time back then. Don't forget, 68. Martin Luther King was assassinated. RFK was assassinated. The riots, the 60s, the Watts riot. I mean, it was 60s was a hotbed, man. So you really couldn't, you know, do it. But I was attracted to black women. I always was. And I was attracted to her, you know. So I don't see the big thing. You know why? You know, I dated Hispanic women back then. I dated Italian girls back then. But they can't believe, some of these idiots can't believe that I dated a black girl in 1968. Till this day.
I don't understand what's hard to believe about that.
I don't know.
But, okay.
I don't know.
Again, more Bronx Tale questions. This one says, how did you plan out each role for a Bronx Tale?
How did I plan out each role?
I don't know if they're talking about the play or the movie, but the movie I think is more interesting, where you actually had people from the neighborhood in the movie.
Oh, most of those, well, all the people that you saw were from my neighborhood or from the Mulberry Street or from Brooklyn. Most of them, and some from Jersey. But those are all people who never were in a movie before, ever. But De Niro wanted very authentic people who just weren't acting. They were just being themselves. And that's why when you look at the movie, it's so great, because it looks like a documentary almost. Because everybody's so real, you know. The only actors in it were me, Joe Pesci, and Bob, obviously. That's it. Everybody else was first time.
Next one, the idea behind $20 getting a person out of your life.
Well, that was advice that I got from one of the wise guys. It wasn't Sonny either, but I made Sonny say it in the movie. I was really upset about this guy owing me money, and the guy said, well, do you like the guy? Is he a good friend? And I said, no, I don't even like him. And he said, what are you worried about? It costs you $20 to get rid of him. So I thought that was a great learning time for me when he said that. You know?
Love that. All right, so switching gears, what's some of your favorite songs?
From a Bronx Tale?
No, just in general. It just says, what are some of your favorite songs?
Wow. Uh, well, don't forget, I grew up. Some of my favorites. I grew up in the '60s, so I loved R&B. I remember Freddie Crocker. You know, WBS. I love the black music. I just loved it. You know, the Four Tops, the Temptations, My Girl. I remember when My Girl came out, and wow, those are great songs. And I'll Be There, and I would say I always loved black music. You know, Ray Charles, and my father was big on with jazz. You know, he loved black jazz musicians, Coleman Hawkins. You know, Eddie Griffin. You know, so um, I would say my favorite songs. Some of those songs I just mentioned, "You Lost That Love and Feeling" was one of my favorite songs. Like certain songs, when you hear them, you never forgot them. Like I was like, "Holy shit!" Listen, and you know what? That song still lasts the test of time. When you listen to "You Lost That Love and Feeling," that was a. I love the Beatles when they came out. You know, 8 days a week. I love that song. I love the Ticket to Rye and yesterday. I just thought those were great songs. You know, and I loved Johnny Mathis back then. I was a huge Johnny Mathis fan back in the '60s, '70s. I love his albums, Wonderful, Wonderful, and his Christmas album. Uh, I thought he was really unique, Johnny Mathis, and I did. I loved his voice. Um, but those are some of my favorite songs I remember. Yeah.
All right, next up, if you could give one piece of life advice, what would it be?
Oh, that's a damn good question. One Piece, don't take anything so personal, I would say. It's only words. Don't take anything so personal. Just keep moving forward and don't take anything too personal. That's what I would say.
How about favorite place to visit?
Wow. I would probably have to say Italy is my favorite place. Sicily is where I'm from. I love going there. I love the travel in Sicily and Taormina and Shaka and Agrigento and Corleone and my town where my family's from, Menfrey. I love Tuscany. I have a house in Tuscany. Don't own a house in Tuscany. I rent a house in Tuscany, and we go there. We have a house that it's ours in Sant'Arsenio. That's where my wife is from, and we go to Italy a lot. I would say Italy. Italy is probably one of my favorite. I love going to Europe. I love England. I love Ireland. Uh, I love Prague. Prague very much. Europe to me, Europe, because it's so old, John. You know, it's so old, and the history in it is so old. Uh, and I loved going there. You know what? I'm sad because I never been to Israel. I shouldn't say I'm sad, but I want to go there very badly. I have a wonderful friend, my friend Dan Adler, who goes to Israel quite often. He says you got to go, and I do want to go. Uh, I'm a Catholic, and I want to see where I want to see Bethlehem and Jerusalem and where Christ walked. I want to see all that. You know, I do very much. I do. I want to go to Israel. I've been to a lot of places in Saudi Arabia, and I really loved it there. And people always say, they go, "What?" I go, "Yeah." I liked it there very much. I was in Jeddah and Riyadh and Taif, which was the summer thing of the print of the king, and Bahrain, and I just get along with people. I love people, you know, and they were big fans of my movies. So I really did enjoy going there. I never been to China. I've never been to Japan. I want to go to Japan very badly. I think I would love Japan. you know. Um, but look, I love being in America, but I've been all over America, and I love America. But so if you want to say my favorite spot in America is America. I love being anywhere in America. I love it. It's the greatest country in the world, and I say that without any question saying it. It is. You know, we have our tough times, but when it comes down for me to have my own podcast and say what I want to say, try to do that in Russia. Not going to happen. But I do love America, and I love to travel, and I love people. You know, it's like what we talked about before. Why do people got attitudes? Why do people want to? Folks, if you don't know who you are, then you have to fake who you are. And that's why you see people, you go, who the hell does that person think he is? If you know who you are, just be yourself. Oliver Wendell Holmes said, be yourself. Everybody else is taken. And I think he was right by that. I love people. I don't like to criticize people. Before I criticize somebody, I just walk away. It's a better thing to do. It's criticize, gossiping. That I think that just brings it brings bad vibrations all around. I just don't think that's cool. And that's why I always say, and I always say this on my podcast: the people who don't like me, for whatever reason, and I always say they didn't like Jesus Christ. He was 33 years old, and he was the most perfect man who ever lived, and they didn't like him. If they cannot like him, they cannot like me and everybody else. Does that sound okay to say that? I think so.
Yeah, I mean, people
Yeah.
are going to hate.
Yeah, I'm not comparing myself.
No.
I'm just saying. I'll give you an example. Not everybody's going to like you, and if they don't, that's okay. But, the people who are vicious and say things about you, what do you give a shit about them? They're like a pimple on your ass. They mean nothing. It's like, as they used to say, a butterfly's belch. It's insignificant. And you know who you are out there. You know who you are. So, and I always say to you, look at your life. Look at my life. That's all I have to say. So, I don't know how I get into that, but
Well, we were talking about traveling the world and your
Yeah.
favorite places.
yes.
It's funny that you brought up England and Ireland, because one of the questions is, are you going to do the one-man show in the UK or Ireland?
Yes. I plan on doing my one-man show, that one best show of the year in Las Vegas, and I want to do it on the West End, and I want to do it in Ireland. Absolutely, and maybe even Australia.
Oh, that'd be
I'm in
fun.
negotiations right now, talking to somebody about that. I can't say definite because it could all fall apart in 2 seconds, or it could work out. I don't know. So I don't want to bullshit anyone. It might work out, it might not. I hope it does, because I really would like to do the show there.
All right. How about, what is your favorite meal and some of the meals that you grew up with?
My favorite meal, well, look, folks, and I try not to eat it, is pasta. I have to have pasta or macaroni, as they say in my time. I have to have it on Sunday. I have to. I mean, I don't care if I'm in another country, anywhere over the world. When Sunday comes, I have to find a place to have pasta and macaroni and gravy, or pasta and sauce. I have to. It's a tradition in my life. My sons are the same way. I was somewhere once, I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere in the South, and it was late after a show, and I couldn't find a restaurant open, and it was Sunday, and I was breaking my tradition about having a plate of pasta with red sauce. And I said, oh my God, this is the first Sunday in I don't know how many years. And I was so upset that I went to an all-night grocery store and I bought a can of Chef Boyardee raviolis.
No.
Yes, I did. And I put it in a big pot. I heated it up. I had 2 bites, then I threw it out. I said, kept the record going. Kept the record going, folks. So, yeah, on Sunday, pasta is my favorite dish. I love it.
All right. This person wants to hear about some of your old friends from the Bronx.
Well, my old friends from the Bronx. You know, I got a couple of. I have a couple. I got great friends. I got my friend. You know, he was my like brother. Here he is. That's my brother. I call him my brother. He's not my brother, but he's like my brother. Phil Folia, who I grew up with since we were 10. He passed away a few years ago from COVID. I'm still upset by that. I still talk to him every day, and I still love him very much. And we loved each other as brothers, and it's hard to be close to someone like that. I mean, when you lose someone like that, it's very, very difficult. But you have to move on, you have to survive, and I know he would want that for me, and I would want that for him. So he was my best friend, and my other great friends. There was Dominic Caputo, Babes Prezioso, but his real name was Carmine, but we called him Babes, and because he was the baby of the family, and he was great. And my friend Nick DeSantis, and we used to call him Nicky Bonehead. I'll give you the nicknames too. And Frank, my friend Frank Oriema, who is doctor now. He's a doctor of, I think he's a doctor. I don't know what he's a doctor of, but he's PhD in something. Brilliant guy. And we used to call him Frankie Badan. Badan means potato. He used to run like a hot potato. You know, I mean, these are kids that I grew up with. You know, and there were some other guys who I won't mention. They're dead. They had a tough life, crime, drugs, you know. But I had a lot of great friends. My friend Dominic broccoli like the vegetable, he always says. Hey, Dominic, it's broccoli. We all know what broccoli is, okay, Dominic? And I didn't grow up with him, but I met him when I was early on in my 20s. He always says we grew up together. I go, Dominic, stop bullshitting people. We didn't grow up together, okay? But you're still a good friend. But I always tease him about that. And I'm trying to remember so many good friends. And my friend, you know, you don't have to grow up. My friend Seth Mitchell, who I love, and he obviously is my financial advisor and great guy. I mean, I got some. I'm blessed, man. I got some great friends. You know, I mean, really great friends. And I have some women friends too who are great, who I know a long time. My friend Suzanne O'Donnell, I know her many years. When I used to bounce back in the early 80s, we still remain friends. You know, people go, oh, you can't be friends with a woman. Yeah, well, I'm friends with a woman. I'm friends with a bunch of women. Of course, you know, Tara and Catherine Narducci and Tara kind of Tracy. I mean, these are all my friends. I'm blessed to have good friends.
Well, that question kind of ties into the next one that we have. And it says, what was it like growing up in New York as a kid? And did you have any experiences running into the Mafia that you can talk about?
Yeah, I did. I just called Bronx Tale. that's running into the Mafia. You know, and I don't know if I ever told this story, but I will now. I remember I grew up with the Mafia. I never say I'm a tough guy. I never say I was in the Mafia. I never even tell people I was part of the Mafia in any way, because I wasn't. I was on the outside. But I was let in because of my relationship with some people. As a guy who just hung out, and then when things got serious, I walked away like everybody else did. Uh, but when I became famous, John, actually a few years after that, this was after the Academy Award nomination. And I was really, you know, flying high. And I went down to the neighborhood to see my friends. And I tell you this story because this was one incident where your life can go left or life can go right. And I went down to the neighborhood to see them, and I was right around the nomination. They were like, "Oh my God, you got nominated! I can't believe it!" You know, That's an amazing thing for a kid from that street to be nominated for Academy Award. My friends were all hugging me, and I'm in the bar. I won't mention the bar. And a guy comes over to me and says, "Hey, so and so wants to talk to you." Now, whenever one of those guys say they want to talk to you, it's not good news. It's just not. It's not. You know, when they say it like that, it's not good news. It's something to do, but it's bad news, or it could turn bad. So I said, "Oh, okay." And immediately when he said that, I knew what it was. I said, "They're going to put the bite on me right now. They're going to say, 'You want to be with us?' Blah, blah, blah." They're going to get me involved with them somehow to get a piece of my ass. I knew it. It's a true story, my hand to God. So we got to go from the bar to the dining area, and it's all got this long, straight hallway. And I saw them because they were at the big table right in the back, all around this red and white tablecloth. They were sitting around this table, and I'm walking towards me. I'm walking towards them, and the other guy's behind me, and I'm saying to myself, I know they're going to ask me that they want help in the movies, or I knew it had something to do with getting their fingers in me. And I said, it must have been maybe as big as my office. My office is maybe 25 feet. As I'm walking towards them, I'll never forget my mind. And I said, I will die right now. It's okay, God. I will take a bullet in the fucking head, but I will not say yes to them. I remember saying that. And I meant it. And again, I don't claim off to be some fucking tough guy. But I said that to myself. I was so determined that if you think you are going to get a piece of me now, that's not going to happen. And I sat down and we made some small talk. And one of them said to me, we have a guy in LA, he's in the movie business. I said, oh, here it comes. And he said his name, and it's a famous person who's a made guy. And I said, they said, you remember him because he's from my neighborhood. And I said, yeah. How is he doing? Oh, he's doing great, 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 great. Well, he knows about you, and he wants to bring you involved with us and make movies together. I said, and his words were, he can make some really good phone calls for you. And I said to him, you know what? I really don't need anybody to make a phone call. They said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'm at a stage of my life. I don't have to make the phone call now. I have a great manager. I got great agents. I was with the biggest agents in the world. I'm making $1 million a movie. I don't need, I didn't say that to them, but I just said, I'm doing well. And they said, oh, you think you're a big star now? They tried to get me mad a little bit, but I didn't. I didn't take the bait. I just said, no. I said, I'm not the big star. You guys are the big star. And I really just, anytime they threw something at me, I threw it right back at them with honey. And then finally, I just said, all right, time to go. And I got up. I said, hey, listen, man, I got to get going. And they said, oh, no, sit down. I said, no, I got to go. And one of them said, come on, well, let's walk outside together. I'll put my arm around you. You can take a picture with the FBI. And I said, nah. I said, I'm good, man. You take care of yourself. And I left. I never went back to that bar again. That one bar in my neighborhood. I never went back there again. That was 1994.
Wow.
And I never went back to that bar ever again.
That's
and those guys are all dead now. No, not all of them, except one or two are alive. But they're in jail.
That's insane. That gave me goosebumps.
I never went back to
That's
that bar
crazy.
again. And I liked the food there. It was a great restaurant. I never went back there again. And whenever I go to the neighborhood, I never go to that bar.
That's funny, but scary.
Yeah. No fucking way will I go to that bar.
All right. Well, we got time for one more, and this is a quick one. And this one comes from a guy in Chile. He says,
where?
Chile.
Chile.
Yeah. He said, how do you build self-love?
I think the way you build, okay, that's a very good question. From what my understanding and being in therapy for many years and reading a lot of these books behind me about therapy and about success, You build self-love by accomplishments. When you accomplish something, there is no greater feeling of self-love and happiness than that. When you I don't care if it's cutting the grass and you do a great job and you look at it, you go, wow, that came out nice. All of those little things are like giving you self-love, being kind to your wife or your girlfriend, being faithful to you as a husband, uh, being a good person to your children, uh, doing things that take you out of your comfort zone, being good to people. That's all part of self-love. If you have a goal, do your goal. If you want to be a writer, then write every day and feel that you wrote, feel that you wanted to go to school, go back to school, then go back to school and get your diploma. So you build self-love by self-accomplishments. That's how you do it. Because think of it. Think of the opposite. Why do people hate themselves? They didn't go to school when they should have. They fucked up their job. They screwed up their marriage. They screwed up their relationship with their children. So what happens is you hate yourself. Subliminally, you hate yourself. You turn to drugs. You turn to alcohol. It's like a domino effect. If the dominoes go this way, hatred. If the dominoes go this way, self-love. So I say the more good things you do and the more things you accomplish, the more self-love you will get. Got that? All right, this is Chazz Palminteri. That was great, John. I love doing these Q&As. And because they're nice. They're short, but they're sweet, but they're, impactful. That's, my man John Sheridan here, he's the producer here. He's a terrific guy, comes up with great ideas. And a lot of the stuff you see on here, that's not my idea, that's his. So I want to thank you for coming to my show every Monday at 11 o'clock. Every Monday at 11 o'clock. Check out my restaurants. Chazz Palminteri, 30 West 46th Street, 264 Main Street. LCG Cigars, my wine Cabernets. Life is good, folks. Life is great. You know what? Enjoy life. It's here. Enjoy the present. That's why they call it's a present. Life is giving you a present. That's how the word present came from. Enjoy life. Enjoy the present. God bless.